Hello, and welcome to this edition of Pleasant Perspectives. Today we are joined by Tracy Michelle Lewis. She is the founder and CEO of the Exodus Media Group, and the Exodus Media Group, has recently put out a new publication entitled The Anointed Magazine. Tracy, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So you're the founder and CEO of the Exodus Media Group. First off, tell us, what is the Exodus Media Group?
Exodus Media Group is a Philadelphia-based independent publisher. We publish books and periodicals, inspirational books and periodicals of a Christian nature. And we recently, in January, launched Anointed Magazine, and that has just been an awesome undertaking.
So tell us a little bit about Anointed. What are some of the types of articles that we could find in Anointed?
Anointed is primarily for women of color, Christian women of color, and the men who love them.
Okay.
And we stepped out on a theme of fearlessness. We want to address issues within the body of Christ that are not necessarily being discussed within the church.
Okay.
We talk about everything from relationships to ministry, sex, a number of different topics that are domestic violence, etc., that are not necessarily being discussed, but are being discussed by our audience to their girlfriends or in other secular publications. It was, for me, being an author, being a writer, I love to read, and I've read every magazine. I was 8 years old as a child sneaking reading my mom's Essence magazine.
Right.
So I always thought, as I turned 30 and began to really look for a publication, I wanted something that talked about all those things that were being discussed in the secular publications, but that spoke to me as a woman of God, that spoke to me as a Christian woman.
Now, some of the things you mentioned domestic violence, being sexy and being saved. And then you also mentioned Christendom. So even though these are topics that you kind of devote to Christianity, there still seem to be universal topics. We can all learn, everyone who reads this magazine can learn from it about domestic violence. So these topics are still universal.
Absolutely, they're absolutely universal topics. I mean, these are things, a lot of people have the misconception that the things that Christian women of color or Christian women in general deal with are somehow separate from those things that are dealt with by the general society, and they're not. Our perspective, our approach, our reactions, how we deal with them might be differently, may be different, but the actual subject matter, the actual things that we deal with are not anything different. So issues of sex, issue of relationships, health, all of those things are the same.
So whether I'm a Muslim, whether I'm a Jew, a Hittite, a Jebusite, I can still learn.
A Jebusite.
Exactly.
Okay.
I can still learn from the Anointed magazine.
You absolutely can. Our goal is to motivate, to edify, and to inspire.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this specific issue here, the love issue. I think the issues are themed, and then if you can give us a little bit of some of the articles that are in this specific love issue magazine.
Sure. This particular issue is our March-April 06 issue, and we actually designed all of our publications over a theme. So we stepped out. Our launch issue was our Fearless issue. March-April was love. We had a pride issue. We had a sex issue. We had our men's issue. The love issue specifically spoke to Hurricane Katrina. We talked about love in all different facets. We talked about how to have a good godly love. So we talked about relationships. We talked about loving your body, loving yourself, and health and wellness. We've talked about Hurricane Katrina and talked to some of the people that experienced some of the things that happened during Hurricane Katrina and really asked them, where was the love? So that issue was probably our most successful issue thus far.
Okay.
And then we have, again, other issues that are theme-based. Our men's issue, which is being released right now, is a phenomenal issue that talks about issues that men might be related or that women need to know from men.
And let's get into that a little bit further. The articles, the men's issue, directed towards men that love Christian women.
Yes.
Speak to specifically some of the articles that may be in those magazines.
Sure. One article is Finding the Good Thing. And in the Bible, it talks about he that findeth a good thing, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Okay.
And so we talk to men about what is their selection process? How do they go about finding a wife?
Okay.
And these are things that our audience wants to know, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about men's health issues, prostate cancer, which is huge within the African American community.
Yeah.
We talk about a number of different things that men are dealing with or they want us to know.
Okay.
And Steve Harvey is on the cover of that issue, and he really talks about his walk in terms of Christ, radio, relationships, and how he has to deal with trying to better himself in the public eye, and it's an awesome interview.
So the Anointed magazine addresses men and women issues.
Absolutely. Again, our target audience is African American or women of color, but men who grab this magazine will always be able to grab something from it, and it might learn a little bit of something about us too.
Talk to us for a little bit about the Exodus Media Group. You have the magazine. I understand there's also some different book publications.
Yes, we Exodus Media Group started out as a publishing company. Initially publishing my own work as an author. I'm an author and I have 4 books.
Okay.
One is called The Gospel According to Sasha Renee. It's a novel. We are currently in the process of launching new authors. John Gray, who most people know as the comedian and gospel recording artist, is releasing his book through our partnership, Dirty Little Secret, The Hidden Sex Life of a Virgin. Yes,
okay.
and it really speaks to holiness and him being a 32-year-old man as a virgin and how his walk has been, which is a very interesting topic. So we're doing a lot in not just the Anointed magazine, but in just the book publications and really getting Christian literature, fearless Christian literature, as I like to say, out into the marketplace.
You're also involved in several community projects. There are
Absolutely.
some topics that you are involved in, and please speak to some of those.
Sure. Anointed magazine, our mission is beyond just the publication itself. We want to go out into the community. We want to bring the things that we're talking about in Anointed to the community. And so some of the things that we're planning for 2007 is a Diligent Hands Job and Career Fair, which we have scheduled for March 24th at Community College. We have an anti-violence concert and rally. We have a women's retreat on sexuality. We have a health awareness in October. We're doing a lot of things in the community because, again, part of our goal is not just to put together a magazine and meet people every other month in their homes, but we want to meet them in the park. We want to meet them, in their communities, and we want to let them know that they have the support of our organization and whatever the issue might happens to be. We also do bi-monthly